guys, it's Jonathan here from Daddy Guitar Lessons, and if you guys are new to this channel, make sure to click subscribe and also hit the notification bell to not miss anything happening right here. So guys, the one thing I get asked quite a lot is, do I have any tips or tricks for beginners? How to get better quicker, how to switch between the chords easier, any tips or any tricks that will help you guys out. So I thought about it. I've got my top 5 tips I wish I knew when I started playing guitar. I believe this will help you, especially if you just started playing right now. So stick around, we're going to run through my top 5 right now. So let's start with number 5. This is a really big problem out there. This is a bad habit. This is a habit I had myself, but there's a lesson coming on Thursday how to fix this very easily and very quickly. So number 5 is pressing the strings or the chord way too hard. Now there's a couple of things why that is bad, but the biggest one is you can bend the whole note or even the whole chord out of tune and it will not sound good. So click the notification bell for the lesson on Thursday how to fix it, but let me just show you quickly what I mean about pressing it way too hard. Alright guys, so just to show you quickly, if you press the chord too hard, so this is the right one, but if you press it too hard, and if you press the chord, can you guys hear it? I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that in your own playing before, and it hurts your fingers as well. So pressing down way too hard. So tip number 5 I wish I knew is you don't have to press down very hard to get the correct sound from your guitar. So tip number 4 is, it's a really easy one, it's a quick one, is learning your gear. It's very easy to go on the internet and do a lot of research about guitars you don't have, guitars you can't afford, about pedals, about amps, and get so confused and not know anything about your own gear, especially electric guitar. Electric guitar with the amps, with all the pedals, with delays, with everything you have going on with it. Learn your gear. More expensive gear won't make you play better or sound better. So doesn't matter what you have, learn your gear first. It will do you wonders. It will do so much more than knowing what the best new guitar can do. Learn your guitar, even if it's $100 guitar, that doesn't matter. Don't worry about the most expensive guitars. If you can't afford it, if you can't play it, don't worry about it. Just learn your gear. Your guitar can still sound just as good if you put in the work, if you put in the practice, and if you know your gear. So that was tip number 4. So tip number 3. This is now it's common sense to me, but when I started out as a beginner, I would just learn the band that I listened to that week or that month, or I basically learned all of Blink-182 songs and Green Day songs. So my tip for number 3 would be learn a bunch of genres, but not just the intros, not just the verse, not just the chorus. Learn whole songs. Learn how the other genres work and how their songs get put together. So tip number 3, learn more than just 1 or 2 genres. Get into some blues, get into some jazz. Even though you don't listen to jazz albums, just get into some songs to learn their guitar skills and how do they incorporate their guitar into their music against something like punk rock or metal or whatever. So Learn more than 1 or 2 genres. Get a genre that challenges you and go for it. Number 2, practice doesn't make perfect. And what I mean with that is you can practice a song over and over and over again. But if you learn a mistake and you practice that mistake over and over and over again, you're only playing a song with a mistake perfectly. So you want to do is start with 5 minutes a day. When you get home from work, school, whatever, when you wake up in the mornings, tell yourself, okay, today I'm going to practice for 5 minutes guitar every day. Start with some basic chords. Do some speed work with picking or whatever you guys want to do, but start with only 5 minutes a day. If you guys say, but I want to practice 2 hours, that's fine, but it might sound a bit daunting, especially if you're a beginner. So only start with 5 minutes a day. Play one song through from intro to end perfectly without any mistakes. Once a day for 5 minutes. It will help you guys a lot. I can promise you that. So that was my tip number 2. And that also goes hand in hand with some structure with your practicing. Get a schedule, Monday to Sunday, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and just write down what you guys are going to practice each day. Get some structure into your practice and you guys will enjoy it. That was tip number 2. And finally, tip number 1. The one thing I wish I knew as a beginner. I do it now, but I didn't do it back then. It's a really, really simple one. Do not put your guitars in their cases. If you're not traveling, put it in the case, but if you're only going to play at home, get yourself a guitar stand, get your guitar out of the case, out of the bag. I promise you, you will play a lot more. It's much easier just to pick up the guitar from a stand and play with it. Otherwise, you guys, it's in a bag, I'm not going to do that now. I'll do it a bit later, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it the day after. And then it just gets postponed. So go out, get yourself a cheap guitar stand, put it up against the wall, and I promise you, you will pick up that guitar much more. That was my tip number 1. And as a bonus tip, I think a lot of you guys need to hear it, and that is, do not be afraid to be a beginner. There's nothing wrong with being a beginner. There's nothing wrong by learning some simple 2-chord songs or 3-chord songs. There's nothing wrong by practicing your A chord for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone started somewhere. So don't worry about the best guitar solos, the best amps, the best players. They also started as a beginner. They also didn't know how to switch between C and D and to go from D to G. They also started somewhere. So do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to learn what people might say is simple or easy songs. Doesn't matter. You're still a beginner. Don't be afraid to be a beginner. Call yourself a guitarist. Guitarist, the name doesn't have a level. So you that just started, you are a guitarist. A guy that has been playing for 32 years is also a guitarist. So do not be afraid to be a beginner, guys. Just enjoy it and stay tuned for more. And that was the lesson for this week, guys. So I hope these tips will help you. I hope it will help you improve or see the guitar a bit differently. Click the notification bell to stay up to date for Thursday's lesson to fix your fingers that might be hurting from the strings or just pressing way too hard down. So keep an eye open for that. Otherwise, as always, click subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and also join us on Facebook's community page. I'll see you guys on Thursday.